Hi everybody, and welcome to another brand new episode of Caton'S Corner here on CUTV. As always, I'm your host, Tom Caton. It's finally the month of October, and there's a lot of things going on during this month. First and foremost, it's the Halloween season, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and Mariah Carey is currently defrosting for the Christmas season. Because once you know the clock strikes midnight on Halloween, it's going to start playing Christmas music everywhere. But other than that, I see that as a significant problem, if you ask me. Christmas music gets played earlier and earlier every year, and Christmas decorations get put out earlier and earlier every year as well. I've even seen some stores put out Christmas decorations as early as August or September, and I find that not right. It's ridiculous if you ask me, but Christmas has become so commercialized lately, and people skip right over Thanksgiving and slip into a Christmas coma. All I have to say is that if you're one of those people that skips over Thanksgiving and I see you post about your plate on Thanksgiving or something, I'm going to call you out. Be prepared, I'm going to call you out. But let's celebrate the holidays in chronological order, please. Halloween, Thanksgiving, then Christmas. Then the day after Thanksgiving, on Black Friday, you can start decorating all you want, because that's what I do. But, oh well, don't let me lecture you on what to do. Everyone celebrates differently, so do what you please. But aside from that, the time has come. We're going to switch over to our next segment, Let's look at some hot topics, why don't we? All right, first up, some local news. Kennywood Park in West Mifflin is enforcing more security measures following a shooting incident inside the park on September 24th. An increased police presence and stricter security screenings will await customers that come to Kennywood as they enter the park for the Phantom Fall Fest that takes place every October. An altercation between two groups of juveniles resulted in a 39-year-old man, and a 15-year-old boy being shot, and another 15-year-old boy suffering a grazing wound. A gun that was believed to be used in the incident was recovered at the scene. The gun was later identified as being stolen from a vehicle in Columbus, Ohio, about 1 year ago, according to police. Kennywood employees and law enforcement are still uncertain as to how the gun even got inside the park in the first place. Kennywood management stated that all metal detectors were fully operational the night of the incident and did not detect any weapons of any kind on any customers that came through. They believe the gun may have been thrown over a wall by an accomplice. Kennywood encourages customers to not let this incident scare them too much, and their doors will remain open for the rest of their Phantom Fall Fest throughout the month. Just be aware that security measures have been profoundly enhanced. Police are still currently investigating this matter, and at this time, a suspect or suspects remains at large. Next up, the newly released Bros movie is making some headlines for breaking some records for the LGBTQIA+ community. The biggest record being is how a large majority of the cast and crew of the film were members of the LGBTQIA+ community, from the actors on camera to individuals behind the scenes. The premise of the film follows Bobby, played by Billy Eichner, a neurotic podcast host who is happy to go on Tinder dates but has no intentions of engaging in a serious relationship. However, that instantly changes when he meets Aaron, played by Luke McFarlane, an equally detached lawyer who likes to play the field. Reportedly drawn to each other, both men begin to show their vulnerable side as an attraction slowly turns into something resembling a commitment. For showtimes and show places, please check out your local movie theater. All right, next up, popular singer and songwriter Lizzo made headlines after she played a 200-year-old crystal flute that once belonged to the fourth president of the United States, James Madison. It was at her show in Washington, D.C., when the Library of Congress lent Lizzo the crystal flute. Lizzo is a classically trained flautist, and she introduced the instrument before playing it. Lizzo stated that the flute is from the early 1800s and was a gift that was bestowed to James Madison from a French crystal flute designer as part in celebration of his second term. When the British invaded and set fire to the White House in August of 1814, only 2 items were saved from the building: a portrait of George Washington and the crystal flute itself. It is also reported that Lizzo is the first person in history to play the flute, and the flute was never originally played when it was gifted to James Madison more than 200 years ago. Lizzo thanked the Library of Congress for allowing her to play the flute, for preserving history, and of course, making history cool. And next up, a sad death most of us saw in the news, but American rapper Coolio was found dead in his home in Los Angeles on September 28th. Coolio achieved enormous success in the 1990s when he first broke out as a rapper, but then he blew up nationally in 1995 when he released his single Gangsta's Paradise for the soundtrack of the Michelle Pfeiffer film Dangerous Minds. The song reached #1 on the music charts and remained there for 3 consecutive weeks. An investigation was launched into Coolio's death, and law enforcement state that no drugs or any other kinds of paraphernalia were found at the scene, nor do they suspect any foul play whatsoever. Paramedics suspect that Coolio may have suffered from cardiac arrest, but an official autopsy and toxicology test will be used to determine an official cause of death. Coolio was 59 at the time of his death. And last but not least, many Southerners are suffering from the aftermath of Hurricane Ian that swept through the southern states last week, causing more than $1 billion in damage and unimaginable loss. The hurricane grew to a Category 4 hurricane when it made landfall in Florida, heavily decimating the towns of Fort Myers and Tampa. We here at CUTV have friends and former members that live down in Florida, and fortunately they stated that they are all safe as the process of cleaning up and rescuing continues throughout the states that were severely impacted. On behalf of CUTV and the Media Suite, we want to send all of our thoughts and prayers to those who were affected by this devastating hurricane. Normally, hurricane season runs June 1st through November 30th, and September is noted as the busiest month of the Atlantic hurricane season. All right, well, that concludes this segment of Hot Topics, Be sure you tune into the next episode for another installment. All right, we are going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, I'll be sitting down with a member from the theater department to discuss this year's first year show. Stay tuned, everybody. You are watching Caton'S Corner on CUTV.
More attractions. More fear. Survive the clowns in Twisted Nightmare 3D. Experience more scares than ever before. Haunted Hills Estate Scream Park. Return September 9th. Get your tickets now at hauntedhillsestate.com.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. My first guest is a member from the theater department, here to talk about the upcoming first year show. So without further hesitation, we'll introduce Serenity BYERS. Hi, Serenity.
Hi.
Hi, and thank you so much for being here.
It's my pleasure.
So, do you want to take a quick moment and introduce yourself?
Oh, yes. I'm Serenity. I am a sophomore here at Cal. I'm a satellite student from the theater, so I'm not a theater major, but I do participate.
Okay.
And my major, I'm a double major in biology with a pre-vet concentration and fisheries and wildlife biology.
Okay. That's interesting. So, the upcoming first year show, I believe it's called I Hate Shakespeare, is that correct? Okay, do you want to tell us what it's all about?
Yes, so I Hate Shakespeare is, as you would imagine, it's about Shakespeare. So the play starts off with a heckler in the audience watching Hamlet. And then as the story progresses, Hamlet takes the heckler from the audience, and we go through different popular Shakespeare plays.
Okay.
And we modernize some of them, we make some of them more readable, and throughout it, eventually, that heckler in the audience no longer hates Shakespeare and now loves Shakespeare.
Okay, that's interesting. I know, so you said a couple of Shakespeare plays? Does that include maybe like Romeo and Juliet, Macbeth,
You bet.
Hamlet?
Yes, you got that one, that one, that one.
Those are the three I can name off the top of my head. I
Got
know there's probably a whole lot more.
Hamlet's a good one. Macbeth, we're doing a lot of good work on. That one's a big one.
Okay.
Romeo and Juliet's really funny. And then we've got a couple other little scenes. There's one where we have Titus. Is that his name, Titus? Yeah. You see, I don't even remember these off the top of my head. But there's a lot of fun scenes that we talk about Shakespeare. There's little cut-off scenes. There's a game show for Romeo and Juliet.
Okay.
It's really fun to watch. I'm not in that scene, so it's lovely to sit and watch and see how funny the banter is.
Oh, so that's definitely something interesting to see. You don't see a game show with Romeo and Juliet.
Not often.
That often.
No.
But do you want to provide, so when is the show's happening in a couple weeks? Do you want to provide a show and ticket details for everyone?
Yes. So the show is going to be October 27th, 28th, and 29th at 7 p.m. If you want to get tickets, you go to showtixforyou.com/event/calu. And then you can also call the box office Monday through Friday between, I think, noon to 4.
Okay.
And then, of course, if you have your Cal card, you get in for free. Those tickets are first come, first serve.
Okay.
But free tickets, right?
Say, who wouldn't want free tickets?
I know, right?
I know we can include all that stuff down in the description below afterwards. So with it being the first show coming up very soon, obviously you guys had to start planning a lot beforehand. So how often, with the show being in a couple weeks, how often are you all rehearsing, and when did production first begin? Like, when did you first start to get everything together?
Well, production, of course, starts with choosing the show, which Quest did, and then doing all the research on the show and blocking the show and figuring out how the characters work and what kind of cast you need. So that's a ton of work that she had to do over the summer. And then auditions were in August, late August, I think the first week of the semester.
Okay.
So we got that out of the way, we got our cast list, and we jumped right in. We've been having rehearsals Monday through Thursday for usually 3 hours every night. And it's really been a fun time. It's really nice to see how everyone's characters progressed, how much hard work everyone's put in, and we're officially off book now.
Okay.
So it's really getting to the fun part, where it's less about knowing where you're going and more about making character choices. So it's really nice to see.
Well, that's good, and I know because it can be very time-consuming to rehearse and all that, especially if you're doing it 4 days a week. Do you and the rest of the cast, do you feel tired afterwards? I mean, if you're doing it for 3 hours?
I mean, honestly, I don't feel as tired. I think they might feel more tired, but I get a break from all the science courses. It's my favorite thing because I finally get to do something fun. And generally, even if they are tired, we have blast. We play theater games before we start. And a lot of times we all go to Sheets afterwards. So
that's the most rewarding part, then.
Exactly. Nothing to end off better.
And also, you probably have to be used to rehearsals by now. You're still, with the show being the 27th, that's in 3 weeks from now, obviously you're still rehearsing right now. Do you want to discuss maybe the cast parts real quick, if you can?
Oh, yes.
Who's playing what part?
So Hamlet is Deshawn. He's doing a great job. He's a freshman here, and he's a theater major.
Okay.
My friend McKinley, she's a cheerleader and a witch, but she's the witch in Macbeth, and she's doing a fabulous job. The witch in the show actually has puppets as the other witches.
I love that.
It's a blast to see, honestly. We have Quinn as Macbeth. He's doing a fabulous job. His Shakespearean accent is better than I could ever imagine.
Okay.
What's another good role to talk about? Let's see. Sean. We have a scene between a director and a cow. Just very vaguely going to say that. But that's Aiden and Corey, and they do such a funny job with it. Quest even said she originally didn't like the scene, but how they're doing it is so funny, honestly. I can't imagine not liking the scene now.
Definitely talk about that. It definitely encourages people to go see it. I'm going to have to go see the show now.
You're going to have to.
I'm going to have to. But so I know a lot of stuff happens behind the scenes, because I know the cast can be pretty large. Besides just the regular cast members, you have people that work the lighting, audio, behind the scenes and all that. Obviously they have as much fun as you guys on stage, but what all really happens behind the scenes? Because not many people might know what really goes on behind the scenes.
behind the scenes, of course, we have got our stage manager, Haley. They're doing an amazing job. I mean, everything is so orderly. We get emails every day about everything that's going on. I would never be that organized, and they're doing a great job. And then we've got the assistant stage managers with Nora. She's been helping with all of the fight scenes with the swords.
Okay.
She's doing a great job. She's super useful if you want to be like, can we go run lines? Because that's really one of the biggest parts, running your lines over and over. Eddie, he's always there taking notes. He's doing a great job of keeping track of, are we on schedule? And honestly, for once, we are.
Well, that's good.
I've been in a lot of shows that aren't on schedule. So
Right.
it's really nice to be like, we're set to do this and we're going to do it good. Behind the stage, there's of course this massive props table. There's so many props in the show. It's hard to keep track of. There's a Annabelle doll back there. Like, there's some crazy things. You guys got to come see the show to understand what I'm talking about. But genuinely, there's a lot of work that goes to the stage managers and assistant stage managers and Quest, our director, and really they're doing such a great job. And I'm really excited to see how it's all coming together. Now we're starting to put all the pieces together and see what's happening.
And speaking of Quest, how she was the one that brought us together for the interview today, so give a special shout out to Quest, and I know Dr. Page and reached out to them as well. So what are you personally most excited about the show, and what is, it may tie into what the rest of the cast may be excited about, but what are you most excited about?
Personally, I'm the most excited for the first scene. I am the heckler in the audience.
Okay.
And genuinely, it's some of the most fun that I've had, getting to say things like that and interact with the audience. Of course, there's nothing better than being able to sit next to someone and make them slightly uncomfortable, but laugh just the right amount.
Right.
So I'm really excited about that. And I think as a cast, I think we're really excited just to show how much fun we're having with the show. I think when you're doing a show that you have fun on, it just radiates out of you through the audience, and everybody has a good time and a good vibe, even if it's a serious show. But obviously, this is a very funny comedy, so you'll be laughing the whole time.
I personally love a good comedy, and how you explained it all, it just sounds so interesting and exciting because, one, it's all about Shakespeare, and I know we learned a little bit about him when we were growing up in school and all that, but just to see a play like a mash of all his plays together and with comedy in the mix, it definitely sounds something to go see. But I know it's October, but I saw on the theater's Instagram page that, I mean, it's going to be Christmas before we know it, but I saw the winter play that's going to be coming out, A Christmas Carol, the musical. Do you have anything you would want to add on that? I know I saw it's going to be mid-November when it comes out.
Christmas Carol?
Yeah.
A Christmas Carol, I mean, they're doing a great cast. Their cast was open to the public, so they've got more than just the theater students in it. They're rehearsing. They're doing a great job. They're really, it looks like they're having a fun time at the show. I know that a lot of my friends are in it, and they're doing a great job memorizing lines and getting everything down, and everything's coming out perfectly. So, I mean, I'm really proud of everyone that's in there because they're doing a great job, and it's honestly going to be a super fun Christmas show to see.
Right.
I imagine that everyone's going to want to see it. And I think the cast overall, having both the community and the theater program in it, it really creates a nice show.
I like that. And I've always wanted to ask, do you find it challenging to try to memorize your lines, or do you have a technique that you do to memorize?
I do have a technique.
What do you do specifically?
Specifically for me, when I get my script, of course, we do our blocking and stuff. I make flashcards with my lines on them and my blocking as well. So when we're doing like a couple rehearsals before, I use those instead of my script.
Okay.
And so I'll try to get it right, and if I'm not, I can just flip the card over. So by the time we're off book, I don't need it, and I'm set.
Well, that works out.
Yeah, it's lovely.
I know me, I try to memorize lines for this show, but I have a teleprompter to help me.
I mean, it's very, very useful, I assume. I wish I could have one.
But before we wrap up this interview, Serenity, do you have any final words? Definitely encourage people to come out, see the first year show in a couple weeks.
Definitely come out and see the first year show. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be hilarious. It's going to be a blast, and you're definitely going to enjoy it, even if you do hate Shakespeare. And I'd also want to say go see A Christmas Carol, of course. Also go see God of Carnage.
Okay.
Because they've been working very hard. It's the week before us.
Okay.
They're also down in the Black Box. And it's a show about two sets of parents arguing over an issue with their kids.
Okay.
And it has a lot of dark comedy and drama to it. It's really fun.
I like that.
I have peeped into a rehearsal or two. So.
Okay. But, well, Serenity, thank you for being here to talk about it. As Serenity said, make sure to go see the first year show, I Hate Shakespeare, playing at the Blaney Theater at Steele Hall, October 27th through the 29th. All show times at 7 p.m. It's definitely going to be a great show, and as we were teasing it, I know it's a little early, but also prepare yourself for A Christmas Carol the musical, November 17th through the 20th, I saw. For more information on everything, you can always definitely check out the theater department's Instagram page at Cal Theater PW because I know that's where you guys go first to set everything out to the public and all that.
Yes.
So that's definitely the first place to check.
Yes,
But,
of course.
All right, well, Serenity, thank you so much again for being here. Go see the show if you can, please. Support the theater department. But we are going to step aside for a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. You are watching Caton'S Corner on CUTV.
More attractions. More fear. Survive the clowns in Twisted Nightmare 3D. Experience more scares than ever before. Haunted Hills Estate Scream Park returns September 9th. Get your tickets now at hauntedhillsestate.com.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. My next guest is a very familiar face. We all know who he is. He really needs no introduction because we see him a lot here on CUTV, the face and voice of many broadcasts. So we'll just introduce him real quick. Johnny, hello. Thanks for being here again.
Thanks, Tom. Wasn't sure I was going to make it, but
Here you are.
Here we are.
That's all that matters. So, all right. Well, Johnny, you are pretty much our Halloween expert with it being October and Halloween season, especially if you're down at Haunted Hills. All of our good friends down at Haunted Hills and all that. So I know you've been telling me that there's a lot of new stuff this year. Do you want to briefly go over like what's new and what people can expect this year if they go to Haunted Hills?
There's a good the Haunt got an upgrade this year.
Okay.
The original Chamber of Chills has been now replaced, which is a couple of years we've been needing to do that. But that has now been upgraded to the new Twisted Nightmare. It's a 3D haunted house, and if you don't know what a 3D haunted house is, we give you the special glasses. Everything's done with like the 3D colored paints and black lighting. All the characters, their costumes, makeup, the masks that are in there are all done up with the bright colors. So like the first night that I worked there, I was decorated. It is a modified version of Willow and had like neon orange, blue, green, pink all over me. And it, I stood still long enough till everyone came in, and then you saw it go from shadow to holy smokes, that's like it's all sorts of crazy, wacky. If you remember the Midway character last year, Uncle Twisty, it deals with him, and you see him at the beginning and at the end, and it's fun, a whole lot of fun. Experiment 31 is now instead of it being an attraction you walk through, is now a paintball arena. It's off to the side. Whenever you come in, that's another thing you can do. The house has gotten a lot of upgrades, a lot of new scares, some old ones that we're very familiar with. If you haven't seen the one, go back to the first time Tom walked through and Eddie jumped at the same thing.
Is it that,
that
hallway with the light thing?
The classic.
It's a classic one, though.
But all those are there. A couple new.
I'm gonna expect chainsaws will be there too.
Oh, of course. It wouldn't be Haunted Hills Estate without a chainsaw.
Exactly.
And so they're there. There are a bunch of new actors, a lot of old returning faces that we've got. Some different things. The trail's got an upgrade. It's got a new path. The corn maze is now all upgraded, so it's twice the size of what it was. At least that's what it looks like to me. I've not got a chance to walk through it yet.
Right.
The trail has its new path. Still the same themes are going down through. You have the burial, the mine shaft, which is something new we added. What is it? Sin Creek, the one, if you haven't seen the poster for it, you'll see my face on there here with one of my chainsaws. Then I can't remember what the other two themes are, but there's so much to do there.
There's so much going on there.
Yeah, there's so much going on.
Long story short, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
So then ticket information. I know people, they can get their tickets online, or they can even, when they arrive, they can buy tickets there as well. I know there's different ticket levels. Like, do you want to explain what all those
so
mean?
the ticket levels you can buy for just the top 2 attractions, or you can buy for all 3, which gets you the house, the woods, the maze, maze, Twisted Nightmare. There's also the RIP passes.
Instead of VIP, RIP.
Yep, that's Spooky Girls' way of having a little fun. I think Aiden might have a little bit of that too.
Okay.
So there's a couple different levels of that. There's one you get to jump the line, wait, or if you have a certain spirit pass, you are the next one to go in.
Okay.
But you can find out those information at hauntedhillsestate8screenpark.com. Also, a lot of new merchandise this year. We upgraded the gift shop this year.
Okay.
The new T-shirts has the logo with the established date print on the bottom, which I still haven't got myself one yet.
I think this is what, the 19th year? Is that what you said?
So started back in 2003. So
yeah,
almost 19 years of fear. So next year will be 20 years of fear. Who'd have thought that little farm in the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania, is one of the top scaring attractions in the entire state, and I get to be a part of it every year.
That has to be exciting. So I know Haunted Hills was originally supposed to open September 9th, but it got delayed by a week. What was that reason for again?
Just
Something
minor issue that we used, but we used that to our advantage. We used that for an actor training weekend, so it was a help by accident, I guess you could say. But we ended up making it work, and gave Aiden time to add a couple other things that I wasn't expecting when I walked through. Once again, I give props to Aiden and the crew as they come up with new things, and I get surprised and left in awe and wonder every time I see something different than when I walk through.
And I know we don't want to think about it, but we think back to 2020. Haunted Hills was one of very, very few attractions that was open for the Halloween season. And I know that was obviously something different with all the protocols in place. What was that firsthand experience like, though?
For us, for me, it was just another day, because it was show up, you got to do your work and everything, but it was just we had to wear a mask.
Right.
For me, it was nothing new, because
because most of the times the actors, some of them are already wearing masks. So.
Yeah. Slight modifications. So it was up to CDC standard. Heard. That was all we did, was just made it so that was dealt with the guidelines. For me, I had my mask on underneath, and then you guys have seen the personal mask I got made. So all it was one of the CDC medical masks that we got underneath that, and then away I went. And then just for a little added effect so you couldn't see the strings, I had my bandana pulled up over top of it, so it looked like the crazy hillbilly that I was playing.
So most of the actors, they were wearing a mask under a mask.
Not most, everybody.
Everyone.
It was everyone. And was it a pain in the butt? Yeah.
So I give credit for all of that because
Yeah, it was.
not that it's super hard. Not that it was super hard to wear a mask, but like especially that kind of work, that kind of job. I know you get all hot and sweaty and stuff too, but I just
it was a learning experience. A lot of us were like, not sure how we're going to get through the night, but after a while, it was nothing for us to just like, all right, here we go. Oh, let's do this. So,
right. And I know coming up in a couple weeks, or less than a month now. So Haunted Hill's open every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday throughout October. And then the first weekend in November 4th and 5th, you have your annual Lights Out event.
So
correct?
it's just going to be November 5th.
November
It's the
5th,
Lights
okay.
Out event.
You want to briefly explain what can people expect if they go to Lights Out?
So Lights Out is a lot different than our normal haunted house. Normal season, it's you walk through. Occasionally, you might bump into an actor or somebody here and there. Lights Out, it is all dark. You have to sign the waiver before you go in. And I will say this is not for the faint of heart. Okay. You will be touched. You might be split up from your group.
I don't think I could do that though.
It's a lot of people will say that, and then they go through it. They're like, "Oh, that wasn't too bad," or they're like, "What did you get me into?" Like it's
Right.
the stories I could tell from here, from between regular season and Lights Out. The Lights Out ones are a lot more extreme, but there's people that literally just show up for Lights Out because they don't want to go through the regular season. It's not their, how do I want to put it? It's not extreme enough for
Not
them.
adventurous enough for them.
Yeah. There's so many people that will just come through for Lights Out, and it's a wild night. The one thing I will say is you can see parts of the haunt you can see. You don't get to see normal things. So like there's a secret passage that the actors use. We've got no problem just yoinking you away from the group and then take you down that hallway and put you ahead of them and send you the other directions, telling you go. So you may have been going this way. We take you down that little hallway and you're like, that way. Like,
I love that.
I thought we were going, and you wonder why people get it twisted and turned around on in there. The other thing is the glow stick.
But it's
thing.
all in good fun.
Oh, it's of course mostly for the actor, but
Maybe not the spectator, but the actors.
or if you're people like me, who people are walking with the glow stick and they're stupid enough to hang it out like this, and we tell them keep it close, because if you don't, we try to take it.
from 'em.
But there's those people that walk out like this, and I'll come out of the shadows, say thank you, and yeet.
But all right, well, before that, why do you personally think people should come to Haunted Hills if they have the free time?
Why do I think the estate is something that is a lot different than anybody else? I mean, yeah, you have your typical run-of-the-mill haunted houses, where it's just a walk through 2 floors or a single floor that's a massive building. But the estate, I don't know many other places that offer 2 different haunted houses plus an entire trail with it where it houses 4 different themes in a maze or the ticket price that you get. The estate, if I remember correctly, it's $30 gets you in for all 3, and
That's a reasonable price.
yeah, so which is like $10 an attraction.
Right.
Where some of these other places are charging like $30, $40, and you're only going in for one. And
If it's $40 for one attraction, I better die.
or it better be one of those real good ones.
It better be really good.
And I've been to some good ones across the country, and I think Aiden probably has more stories of different ones that he's gone to, and that's the one thing I look into when I go to visit other places.
Because some haunted attractions, it may be all about their set or about their actors, or some may be a little bit of both.
right, and that's like, I could go on and on about the different places where I'm like, oh, their actors were great or the sets were great. Not often do you find in a group that's both, and I think that's another thing that the estate offers.
Okay.
Is that not only do we have good sets, we also have phenomenal actors. Everybody that I've seen in reviews, it's always the actor was great. They did this, they did that, add and just X, Y, Z about it. And if I had to say why the estate was worth looking at, it's because you get 3 phenomenal haunted attractions, plus you have good scenes to go look around because there's that shock value there, and then you have the phenomenal actors. So right there, I think is why I'd pick the estate.
I know me and a couple friends will be coming up there this weekend for our annual walkthrough, which I'll show for my Halloween show, in a couple weeks.
You say we're going to turn the studio into a haunted house?
Yeah,
This is going to be interesting.
At this rate. But yes, as Johnny said, definitely go out to Haunted Hills State Scream Park down in Uniontown if you have free time on the weekends, located at 236 Rolling Hills State Road down in Uniontown. And always check out their website, www.hauntedhillsestate.com, for any kind of information about the park itself, ticket information, schedules, events, everything else you need to know is available on that website. And definitely a big shout out to Aiden and the rest of the entire staff at Haunted Hills. They always take care of us every time we go through each year. But Johnny, thanks for being here. I know you'll probably be back around for my Halloween show.
Oh, of course.
Which is the next show. And definitely to watch us walk through and see how many times I scream. I know I'm going to scream in that hallway with the light and the air can thing.
That gets everybody, but there's a couple surprises I've not revealed, and I'm not gonna because I want to see the natural reaction.
Be surprised. All right. Well, we are going to step aside for another commercial break. Johnny, thanks again. You'll be on my show again.
Yep.
All right. We're going to step aside for another commercial break. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Caton'S Corner on CUTV.
More attractions. More fear. Survive the clowns in Twisted Nightmare 3D. Experience more scares than ever before. Haunted Hills Estate Scream Park returns September 9th. Get your tickets now at hauntedhillsestate.com.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. It's almost at the end of the show, and before we go, we are going to play a game real quick. We're going to be introducing a brand new game, but we also have some brand new guests, brand new faces, brand new friends on the show making their CUTV debut. We have Jillian and Claire. Hello.
Hey, Tom.
Thank you for being here. How does it feel to be on the show?
I was nervous. I was so scared.
I was a little scared, It's a big honor, though.
Yeah.
I say better be. Oh, I know everyone can get a little nervous because I know most of the time we're always behind the camera. But yeah, I can get a little nerve-wracking on camera. I mean, I'm going to have someone take over for me next year, so
We got it.
Yeah.
it'll be suitable replacements. But all right, well, this is a new game I'm introducing. It's called Higher or Lower Tom Edition. It's a game all about me because the show is all about me, because why not? So basically how this game goes, graphics going to pop up on the screen and it'll show a number and a statement, depending on what that correlates with. The number you'll see first is not the real number. I will ask you if you think the number is higher or lower, and then I will reveal the actual number, and I might get judged for it along the way, but that's okay. But that's how it goes. All right, are you ready?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. All right, first one. The number of pairs of shoes I own, is that number higher or lower than 17?
Higher.
Higher.
Definitely.
Higher.
I'm so sorry. Higher.
Well, you're right, the actual number is 24.
That's impressive.
Nope, 25 though. Just ordered shoes yesterday.
Oh yeah.
I'm impulsive, but yes. So almost one pair of shoes for every year of my age, which is. I know my mom tells me all the time that I own too many pairs of shoes, but it's because I remember she was telling me how back then she would just have tennis shoes and dress shoes. I'm like, well, I can understand that back then, but I don't know. I just feel like
don't know.
you
Shoes
need
are like an accessory.
you need a variety of shoes.
No, I'm easily probably have about the same amount of shoes.
Well, that's good. Let's say Jillian, excuse me. How many pairs of shoes do you own?
I
If you
own more than 27 pairs of shoes.
more than 27?
More than 27. I buy shoes pretty much for any occasion. I buy a new pair of shoes.
That's me. I felt that. Me, I like when the shoes match my shirt. I don't know why.
Yeah.
That's just how it is.
Yeah, coordination.
Exactly.
Most of my shoes are white though.
Most
haven't
of my
learned my
most
lesson
of
with
my
buying
shoes are
white.
black, just because black goes with anything.
Yeah.
I have a few colored shoes, but I don't know. I like black shoes the best.
Mhm.
What's your, if you don't mind me asking, what's the most expensive pair of shoes?
My most expensive
much?
pair of shoes were my Birkenstocks slides,
Okay.
kind of clogs. I forget what they're actually called. They were like $175. That's not bad, but
It's not terrible.
Mine were probably my docs. Mine were about the same price.
Yeah,
I don't
docs are
remember exactly how
expensive.
much.
I said they
but
are. I know. My most expensive pair is I have a pair of Michael Kors shoes. Those were $200.
Ooh, but they have to be nice.
They are, and then literally I saw like a week later they went on sale for $60. I was so upset.
I
was
would
like, can I
be
get
too.
$140 back? All right, we'll move on to the next one. So also, anyone that knows me, I love watch bands. I have many of them. But do I own more or less, higher or lower than 19?
I'm gonna say less.
Less, okay.
I feel like probably less.
Less,
I don't think I've seen you change your watch band as much as I've seen different shoes.
okay. I'll say this is a record. I've worn this band 3 days in a row. That doesn't happen often. But yeah, you're right, it's lower. I only have 16.
Only 16.
Only 16.
I have my one that I wear every single day.
I got this one with my watch. I've yet to take it off.
That's also me. Like I like to match the watch band to my outfit
fair.
too.
I see.
So, but all right, next one. Let's see, episodes. The number of episodes of Caton'S Corner.
Oh.
Is that higher or lower than 31?
I know the answer.
Were you doing your
Were
research?
you looking at the graphics beforehand?
No. I thought I saw it somewhere. It's higher.
Higher.
Yeah.
Wait, what was it?
The number of episodes of this show. Is it higher or lower than 31?
It's higher.
You said higher?
I said higher.
I'm gonna go against it. I'm gonna say lower because I really have no idea.
Well, it's higher.
Yeah.
Well,
Cause how many seasons do you have?
This is season 8, including today's episode. This
Oh
is,
yeah, true.
Yeah, there's 8 seasons.
Yeah.
This is episode number 43.
Sorry, fake fan.
I knew. I knew I saw that somewhere.
I do about 6 or 7 shows each semester. So.
I knew you were doing it for like 8 years long, so I was like,
Literally.
it has to be higher than 30.
I guess that is
8
fair.
years.
Yeah, I didn't really do critical thinking there.
At this rate, it will be 8 years. only 3.5 though. All right, next one. The number of fake plants I own, is that higher or lower than 25? Including the ones here,
Including
These are all
studio.
yours, aren't they?
in my office,
Other than
and
2 of them.
at my
Other than
apartment.
2, I think
Because we
it's
talked about this yesterday.
Technically, I own these.
And it was how many?
Is it higher or lower than 25?
higher.
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 Yeah, I'm confident in that.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, you're both wrong. It's
Oh.
lower. I only have 21.
Do you have real plants though? Like, are you like a real plant person also?
Oh no, I just have fake plants.
Oh.
Can you
I-
not keep a plant alive?
Well, this past spring semester they gave away. I think they gave away succulents or something. I went to go get one, and I accidentally left it in my office over the summer, and it died. I got home the day. I said, I think I left my plant in my office. I was like, oh well.
What you gonna do?
So that's why I have fake plants, because they'll never die. The fake plants will
Yeah.
outlive me.
And they'll look beautiful any day.
Exactly. All right, and last one. The number of bones I have broken over the years, is that higher or lower than 4?
I feel like it's probably lower.
It's higher.
I don't see you as a
Higher.
clumsy person.
I do.
That could be very wrong of me.
Well, it's lower. I have never broken a bone.
You've never-
0. Fortunately, we're going to knock on wood. Hopefully that doesn't happen anytime soon.
Yeah.
I sprained my ankle a couple years ago. Everyone knows that story. I got I think it was like 2 or 3 a.m. I thought I was getting a cramp. I hate those late night cramps when you're in bed. And I thought I was getting a cramp, but apparently it wasn't. I went down and my ankle swelled up to like the size of a dodgeball or something,
Oh
I
my
swear.
God.
But I was like, and yeah, literally everyone asked like, how'd you sprain your ankle? I was like, getting out of bed. So the long story short, stay in bed.
Stay
I
in
like that
bed.
answer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stay in bed. Have you guys ever broken any bones?
Yes. I've broken my ankle and then a few of my fingers playing field hockey.
A little rambunctious. Me and Claire were the safe ones for right now.
Well,
I played a sport with
like
a
I've
stick.
sprained. Yeah. I didn't. I wasn't an athlete.
You're a band nerd.
Shut up, Jillian.
I just couldn't imagine breaking a bone. Obviously, I mean, it would hurt sooner or later, but like some people in there in cast for months. I don't know.
I was a
I just
little.
couldn't stand that.
I was little when I broke my ankle though, so I was carried anywhere to begin with, so like it didn't really matter.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. I didn't have to walk.
That's a good part. But all right, well, Jillian, Claire, thank you for playing this game.
Thank you for
Yeah,
having
thanks for inviting
us.
us
A lot of
on.
fun. But all right, well, I see we're out of time. That concludes today's episode of Caton'S Corner. I want to thank all my guests, Jillian, Claire, Serenity, and Johnny. A few things to remember. Go see the first year's show, I Hate Shakespeare, at the Blaney Theater, October 27th through the 29th. Go to Haunted Hills State Screen Park if you can, down in Uniontown. And I think that's pretty much it. I would say I'll be back for another episode in 2 weeks, but I'll be back with another episode in 3 weeks. That'll be my last annual Halloween show. Maybe you guys can come around for that. I have a lot
love
of fun
to.
during my Halloween show. You have to wear a costume, though.
I love Halloween.
We're planning our costumes now.
Yeah, we were talking about that in the control room before we
Came
came
here.
on.
What were you planning to be?
With Claire's roommate, we're gonna be Alvin and the Chipmunks. We think.
Be a cute little fit.
I love that.
I know something comfy for the fall time.
Either I start to debate my costume. If I don't get one, I'll literally just get one of those T-shirts that says "This is my Halloween costume," or I put an Instagram poll: would I be a holy cow, or would I dress up as Elton John? And the winning vote was Elton John, so I might have to dress up for him.
You have
I
to
think
do
you
it.
should.
I could
I
probably
mean,
pull-
it's your
pull it off.
last Halloween show. You
You
need to
gotta
go
go
all
out.
out.
Go big or go home.
Exactly.
But yes, tune in for my Halloween show. That will be October 27th. Don't forget, always stay up to date with the Media Suite on all of our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And if you haven't done it yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. Subscribe to our YouTube page, CUTV Sports 1, for all future content as the rest of the semester goes on. But that is it for today. I will sign off. Until next time, remember to stay safe, stay kind, and as always, stay beautiful. Bye, everybody.